conversation, but I guess that ain't gonna happen.
What the heck, Gene? I'm not a member,
Just kidding,
so I
Gene.
can't
10,
go.
9, 8. Yeah, I go on the weekends and hang out, have breakfast, you know.
Well, the other guy that gets breakfast. So lucky him, because whatever. Listen.
Okay, you're at 7 p.m.
7 o'clock. This meeting is called to order. It is Thursday, June 5th, 2025 at 7 o'clock. Please note that this meeting is being made available to the public through a video and audio broadcast on Comcast Government Access Channel for broadcast at future dates. Comments made in this open session will be recorded. Okay. Our first hearing is a request for determination of applicability, 51 Pudding Brook Drive. Do we have a representative to speak?
Yes, good evening. My name
Yep.
is Steve Katowski, and I work for Webby Engineering. Stand over here just in case any members of the public are interested in the,
Can you grab the mic?
oh, sure, yeah.
And you can pull that closer.
It's cordless?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Steve Katowski, Webby Engineering, here to present the plans this evening for the Kaisers, who own a single-family dwelling on 51.
Can you speak up?
Sure. Again, Steve Katowski, Webby Engineering, here to present the plans for the Kaisers, who own the property at 51 Pudding Brook Drive. And what they're proposing to do is to construct a in-ground pool in their backyard, along with some landscaping around the pool area. And they also want to remove and build a new shed, and I'll just kind of go over briefly. So what we have is two resource areas. We have the top of bank along the Little Pudding Brook, which is down here on the southern portion of the property. It actually is on a budding property. But we have the inner and outer riparian zone shown in blue on my plan, but they're, all the work will be within the, there's no work being proposed within the inner riparian zone, it's just on the outer riparian zone. And there's also a bordering vegetated wetlands that you can see pretty much goes along the edge of their existing lawn area. So this area is already disturbed. There's not any trees or anything like that that we're proposing to there's no vegetation that's going to be removed. It's currently an existing developed portion of their property as a lawn. And like I said, there's already an existing shed here. They just want to move it a little bit further back from the resource area and a little bit further and kind of have it more in alignment with their fence. Right now, they have an existing chain link fence that goes along, kind of along where the edge of the wetlands area is. And that's going to stay for the security, for the safety for the fence, for the pool. And there's very minimal grading going on. There's just basically we're going to raise the grade up about 2 feet higher than the, well, actually it's about 2.5, 3 feet higher than the existing grade out there. And then the pool will just be, leveled out around the existing remaining lawn area. So for erosion control, we have just a silt sock or straw wattle. We originally were going with a straw, a silt sock for the site, and then the contractor asked if it would be okay to put straw wattles in, and we felt because there's really no elevation difference in here, it's relatively flat, that that would be appropriate as long as the commission was okay with it. So the closest distance that we have to the resource area, to the BVW, is 15 feet. It's 70 feet from the property line for the pool. And as I said, it's already developed, it's already a lawn, so we're not expecting anything is going to change. It shouldn't have any impact to the actual resource area. There's no grading or anything that's going to be, substantial to change any of the way that the water sheds off or onto the property. So it shouldn't affect anything really. It should just pretty much just be a replacement of lawn with a nice pool in their backyard.
Okay. permeability of the brick around the pool?
Yeah, a good point. So they are going to go with pervious pavers instead of using concrete, apron and there's some steps and stuff that there's steps over here so that they can have access. So they are, as I said, raising the grade a couple of feet. So they're going to have some steps to get back down to the existing grade in that location. But yes, it is pervious landscape pavers.
I have a question about that,
Mhm.
if you don't mind, Mr.
Yeah,
Chair.
go ahead.
So in terms of the permeable pavers, there needs to be ongoing maintenance of, like, just kind of making sure that they
Clean.
stay permeable. So
Mhm.
is that something that is considered in this process? Like, does the homeowner intend to do that?
He's here right now.
I don't know what you mean by maintenance.
Okay. So essentially, what you need to do is you need to ensure that it doesn't get bogged down by any sort of like sediment or debris.
Oh, I would
So
100%
it's
keep
just
it
regular like blowing. I would imagine you keep it clean as a homeowner. Like,
Is there a stone base,
Yeah, they would do a crushed stone base.
crushed stone
Yeah.
base?
So you just want to make sure that it's
Yep.
blown off.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You are showing a 18-inch silt sock. You don't need it, 12 inches would be fine.
That's what the contractor had asked, was straw wattles instead of the standard, the ones the 18-inch ones that, the contractors hire a company to come in, they lay
Yeah,
it
so
down,
you're
fill it with
talking a
mulch.
straw wattle
Yeah,
is the silt sock.
Exactly.
Okay,
So that's
12-inch
that's what they would
silt
prefer,
sock.
but we wanted to just make sure that you were okay with that.
Yep,
Isn't
12-inch
there
silt sock. Staging area,
I probably is gonna be in the front yard, outside of the buffer zone, so
Yep,
they don't have a
outside
lot
of
of
the
room
buffer
to
zone.
work. They're gonna have to come in between the garage and the driveway
Yeah,
there,
and down the other side.
across your lawn.
Yeah, so
Okay.
there's a section of fence here they would take out and come through here.
Okay.
so there's no drainage issues. Another thing we'll put in the order of conditions is you can't drain the pool into the wetlands. Okay?
So
You have to have it filled,
He's referring to like backwashing of the filter.
Oh,
So
drained.
yeah, so,
By a-
my pool builder
a
was
truck.
trying, he's trying to get here. We're not gonna do a sand filter, we're gonna do a DE filter, I think he called it, so you don't have to backwash the filter.
I think a DE,
Okay,
you do.
so you're not gonna be
He said it
draining
doesn't
it.
have to do any backwashing. of
Okay,
that
good.
filter.
But if you do drain it, you can't drain it into the wetlands. No, Bob, correct me if I'm wrong. The pool products, the chemicals they use, do they become inert so that it wouldn't matter if it is after a certain amount of time? That's the only question that I cannot answer.
I don't understand the question all the way. You talk about the actual water in the pool?
The water in the pool, say for instance, it's chlorinated. Chlorinated water loses its efficiency and you have to add more chlorine. It becomes neutral or inert. So,
It'll dissipate after a while, but you
Right.
can't drain the pool.
okay. You
The
still
pool
can't
itself
drain the
can't be
pool.
drained directly
Yep,
into the wetland.
Okay.
So if the pool needs to be
Yep.
drained,
So-
it has to have something else done to
Okay.
it.
all right, so we'll leave it at no draining the pool into the wetlands.
No direct, no, in other words, you want no direct drainage from the pool and its accessories into the wetland.
Yeah.
Exactly. What was the old shed dimensions?
I think it was
12 by 8.
12 by 8, yeah, and the new one is gonna be
Okay.
slightly larger, be
Well,
12 by 18.
It's gonna be moved in a little bit
Yep,
more.
further back and,
Okay.
yep,
Um,
up gradient too, so.
I don't have any more questions.
I have one more question, and it's just because I can't remember. It's between straw and hay. Does straw have seeds in it?
No, I think that's the reason that a lot of companies would prefer the straw. The hay is the stuff that usually gets left behind, and it has
Yeah.
the natural, composting, whatever was eaten by the cows or whatnot,
Yeah,
so that
it's the
gets.
pollen.
So I think the straw is a cleaner product, and the other thing, just for peace of mind, I don't expect it's gonna be there for that long. The construction will probably take a couple of months, and then they'll wanna get the place stabilized and hopefully, come before you to see if they can remove the straw wattles.
Any other questions by the
Yes.
board?
Steve, you or the company will be actively involved through this project with it?
Honestly, Bob, probably not. You know, we usually, you know, once we do the plans and everything else, it would be the contractor that they hire, other than coordinating with the conservation agent. Yeah, there's not a lot of back and forth once they get their permit from us or from you folks.
How about the as-bills afterwards?
If that's a requirement, we can certainly, you know, go out and do an as-built if that's, make sure it's in the right place and the grading isn't, if that's, it is close.
Then I think we need something in our orders transferring when your responsibility is done and the contractors, people are taking over, so we know who to go after if there's a problem. We hope there's no problem, but
Sure.
we need that information.
Yeah, I think the only way to ensure that would be an as-built at, you know, at the end, or even, you know, maybe if you want to have the homeowner come back when he's all done and bring some pictures and show how the construction went, and if you're satisfied with that, then maybe that would be adequate, and if not, then maybe an as-built at that point, if you think that you need more information. Just don't want to saddle him with an additional cost of an as-built. I mean, we don't mind doing it, but, you know, if it's something that you folks think, you know, some pictures and a inspection or a letter, you know, would be appropriate.
Did you want to add something, Jim?
I have a question of clarification. Why straw over the silt sock? Is that because it's a level area, there's no slope? How does it, do either you guys?
It's just easier, and, you know, it's something that usually a contractor can install himself. The silt sock, I mean, the silt sock is typically a specialty product that a company comes in, and then they blow in, you know, an organic material into the sock itself, and it inflates with like a mulch material.
It's actually not easy to find.
Yeah, there's not many of them that are out there.
Yeah.
Some contractors like it if it's a large site, because then they don't have to deal with it. They just have the, you know, the surveyor will go out, mark it out in where it's gonna go, and then they go and hire somebody to do that. A small project like this with the straw wattles will sufficiently protect the resource area and act as that limit of work for the construction. And then once the site is stabilized, they can remove those when it's appropriate. So the straw wattle is probably a better idea. It's just some conservation commissions don't like it because they think it's maybe a little bit more flimsier where you have more work, or the slope is a little bit steeper because it is only 12 inches.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I would like to see maybe 2 or 3 different inspections through this process. Perhaps site control, like when site controls are in place, when the ground is broken into, and then when the site is stabilized prior to removing the sediment, the erosion controls.
I don't think we have to go through that.
Okay.
So Bob would know, because,
Well, I'd be happy to go and do an inspection of the installation of the erosion control. That's always a
Yeah.
good idea,
Yeah.
right?
I think that should be done always,
Yeah.
before they,
Yeah. And remember, this is a determination of applicability.
So
It's
what's
not,
the issue?
it's not an order of conditions.
Yeah.
But it's no problem going out and looking at the installation of the erosion controls. I think part of the issue is Mr. Katowski's not going to be involved with the project once it gets handed over to the pool company, and the pool company's going to be doing the installing the erosion controls?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. So it's important that we have someone go out and look at the erosion controls when they're installed, especially because they don't always use them, right? They're not doing projects that require erosion control all the time. So, yeah.
how about we make a site inspection at the start of the job?
Sure.
Would Mr. Kaiser be open to representing his own project? Yeah,
So-
okay.
Yeah, it's as simple as when the pool company puts in the erosion control, you give me a call and I'll come out and look at it.
Okay.
Yep.
This is-
Okay, fair enough.
Especially with the pool.
which pool company are you, do you have a pool company?
I haven't signed with them yet, but we're gonna go with T&D Pool in Halifax.
Okay, we entertain a motion to close the RDA for 51 Pudding Brook Road.
Mr. Chair, did you want to get some public comment first? if
Oh,
there was
yes.
any?
We went on longer and it slipped my mind. Public comment? Anybody objecting to this hearing? The answer is no. Would someone like to make a
Move we
motion?
close.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Second.
And would someone like to make,
I move we- this
A
is
motion
ter-
for
we got a
conditions.
Termination for us?
Hmm.
So that's what's before
Yep.
us? Yeah.
RDA?
Move we issue a -3 with the comments passed at tonight's meeting.
All right, I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Great, thank you so much.
Okay.
Have a
Thank
great
you so
night.
much.
Thank you.
The
Yes.
disclaimer, yeah.
Okay, so,
Hold on, wait a
Please,
second.
please note that any person aggrieved by this decision has a right of appeal within 10 business days. Please contact our office or DEP if you need assistance. Okay, next hearing is another RDA for 720
You're at a point where you
Washington
wanna-
Street. And
I can't
it
see where I'm
is
signing.
to construct a 150-foot tall, they're calling it a monopole, but I guess you could call it a cell tower, and associated grading. And please state your name and
Good evening. For the record, my name is Chris Lucas with Lucas Environmental. I'm a professional and certified wetland scientist and registered professional.
Could you say your name again? I just,
It's Christopher Lucas with Lucas Environmental. And I'm also a registered professional soil scientist. I'm here tonight on behalf of the applicant, the Towers LLC, doing business as the Towers BTS of Massachusetts, care of Vertical Bridge. So, with me tonight, I also have Christina Glass with the AI Group, representing the applicant, and we also have Michael Jaimo with Robinson and Cole. We are, this is an existing conditions plan, which is in the packet, showing the overall site. And it's an existing building, access road, runs through the back, there's a gravel parking lot. This area is currently being actively used. The existing vegetation line runs roughly through here.
can you speak up, please?
Sure. The vegetation line runs roughly through the southeast corner of the site. North is up on this plan, Washington Street's on the west. The site's approximately 5.9 acres in size. We're proposing a new telecommunication facility. No work is proposed in any resource areas. We have some minor work in the outer 100-foot buffer zone to a bordering vegetated wetland. This project currently has site plan approval. To the south of the site, which is not shown on this plan, is there's commercial and forested areas. There's undeveloped forest wetlands to the east and commercial development to the north, and again, Washington Street to the west. This site does not contain any rare species habitat, certified or potential vernal pools. It's not located in an outstanding resource water. It's not located in an area of critical environmental concern. There's no 100-year floodplain. It's mapped as a Zone X, so it's outside the 500-year floodplain. And there are no DEP wellhead protection areas or zones on the site. My company originally flagged this back in September of 2023. As the project moved forward, we went back out in March of this year and verified the line, particularly with the new handbook. We observed no changes, and that's what we currently have before you. We have a bordering vegetated wetland flags 1 through 18 to the southeast corner of the parcel shown here. It's a red maple, black tupelo, forested swamp wetland. We also have the 25-foot setback, the 50-foot setback, and the 100-foot buffer zone shown on the plan. This is an overlay on an aerial showing the overall site. The blue is the parcel boundary. Again, the access where we're going to be using the existing access to the back portion of the lot, which then runs through a gravel parking area. And then there'll be a new gravel portion through here, and our facility is located in this small portion here. Again, we have the wetland shown here. This is a little bit of a close-up. So again, the gravel parking is located down here, and we're hooking in. So this is the facility is located here. Partially, you can see the existing vegetation line comes right through here. So we're partially in an open, active area of the yard and partially forested. This tower has been designed to support wireless broadband telecommunication carriers. They're proposing up to 4 potential carriers on the monopole. The monopole is the type of structure. There's lattice towers, monopoles, which is what we have here, and then you may have seen some of those monopines. Some people like them, some don't. Some stick out a little bit more. But we're proposing a monopole with up to 4 potential carriers. Verizon's co-applicant here seeking the top of the tower. It's proposed as 150 feet tall with an additional 6 feet for a lightning rod, so it'll be a total of 156 feet. This dark dashed line is the lease area, which is roughly 3,150 square feet. The compound itself, which will be fenced in with a 6-foot tall stockade fence, is just under 2,800 square feet. So this is a small footprint. The total earth disturbance of the project involves a lot of the stormwater work that we have proposed here. And that's roughly 24,000 square feet, 23,000 or so square feet for the site, and there's an additional 1,300 plus square feet for the underground utilities. It shows a little bit more of the site. So coming, and just to, actually, I'll go back one second. The buffer zone. This is your 50-foot local setback. The only work, 620 square feet in that zone, is for this riprap splash pad and a portion of this vegetated swale. So this is an important part to the stormwater component here. Otherwise, we're completely out of the 25-foot, and we have 9,810 square feet of total impact in the 50 to 100. So this is a very small project. Overall, I think this whole footprint really, is smaller than you may see for a new home in town. If someone's building a new house, a lot of times those footprints are bigger than what we're proposing. Obviously, different use and different structure, but square footage wise. The equipment's going to be located at the base. The tower's located here. There'll be equipment pad here. There's room in the compound for the additional carriers. If they come on board, there's room in there for the equipment. 2 propane tanks located in this corner. The access will be via a 14-foot wide gravel drive, which will extend through here. So we'll extend the existing gravel drive, and there'll be a turnaround here. There's a 10-foot wide utility easement that will extend down towards the road, where we're proposing underground utilities to tie into the existing pole on Washington Street. During the planning board hearings, the applicant moved this tower 30 feet to the north to pull it further back and out of the resource areas. So I think the applicant's done a great job of doing that with such a small area in the 50-foot. And overall, all the infrastructure for the project is outside the 50-foot. The tower, the stormwater. We do meet the Mass Stormwater Management standards. Again, there's that vegetated swale located along this portion of the site. This is a sediment forebay with an overflow into an actual detention basin with an additional overflow out if needed. There's also a little settling area here with a drain pipe into the sediment forebay. And additionally, there's a proposed small drain. This is a foundation drain. The plan is to put that through the woods without clearing any trees or anything. They're going to kind of snake that drain through there to avoid the mature trees, so they won't have to remove anything there. Erosion controls on the project. This is color-coded, the green, which is in your packet, but we have some silt fence. There's armored silt fence. There's a double row here, and we also have silt socks along with that. So we have erosion controls spread throughout this area due to the slopes in the area and making sure we're protecting the wetland. We think that's more than appropriate. We also have a truck washout and a potential area for a temporary sediment basin during construction if it's needed. Ms. Deborah Keller from Merrill Engineers and Surveyors completed a peer review of the proposed stormwater design. and provided a report to support the project's compliance with the Mass DEP stormwater management regulations. That was done through the planning board process. So this has all been peer reviewed already. There was only one comment at the time, that if the planning board made a decision where an illicit discharge compliance statement needs to be signed by the applicant and lessee prior to construction and provided by the town. There's no objection to that. That'll be done. Otherwise, we fully comply with the peer review for the stormwater. So at this time, our opinion is that this project will not have any adverse effects on the Wetlands Protection Act, or any resource areas subject to the Wetlands Protection Act or your Wetlands Protection Bylaw, and it's minimized to avoid the impacts of the buffer zone. We're located outside the 25 setback, 620 square feet, and the 50-foot erosion controls are appropriate, and we meet the stormwater management standards. So we're here tonight seeking a negative determination, 3 and 6 for your local bylaw. And we're here to answer any questions you may have.
Yeah, are you totally in a previously disturbed area?
No.
Okay, let's talk about that.
We are in a partially disturbed area. This is the existing tree line here that comes through. So everything here forward towards the site, this vegetated swale, the gravel drive, all of that is located outside the wood area. This small portion in here and the stormwater will be located
All right.
within.
How much of that is within the buffer zone?
How much of the, so the 100-foot buffer zone is right here, so it comes through here. So this portion of the 100-foot buffer zone is disturbed, and this portion is disturbed.
All right, so is it brush or are there trees?
The vegetated portion is treed.
How big are the trees?
They vary in size. We didn't do a tree inventory, but there are definitely some trees. There's mature trees out there greater than 12-inch DBH. So,
What do you think, Bob? We got money coming in to the tree fund?
Yeah. Any tree, we have kind of a, I don't know what we call it as far as regulation, but for every tree over 2.5 inches in diameter at waist level that's cut down, 3 trees must be planted in place of it. There's also a amended part of it that says that if the site owner or whoever's running the site does not want to plant trees, they can contribute to the Pembroke Tree Fund. How much is it now, $100?
I don't know. We
Andy knows.
generally
How
were
much is in
talking
there now?
about
How much do they contribute to our fund?
$10 up to a total of 100.
Yes, up to I'm not exactly sure what the number is dollar-wise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but somewhere around up to $100 to our tree fund,
$100 total or per
total
Yep.
for the site.
total for the site?
Yeah.
I don't see an issue with that. I don't see an issue if we contribute the $100 to the tree fund.
And again, we're assuming
I would
that we're
assume,
not taking down 6 acres of trees now. I mean,
no, the total tree clearing for the site is 7,960 square feet. So we're
yeah,
talking,
well,
it's a small area.
It's within common sense.
You're right, so it's a small site compared to what you may see with, like I said, a residential home may take down a
And
large.
just so you know, the money goes into this tree fund and is available for planting of trees somewhere within Pembroke
Okay.
by anyone who might want to plant a tree. In other words, we will donate the trees to people who will legally plant them somewhere that is necessary.
Oh, great. Yeah. I know under the under the -3, you can condition this, so I don't know if that $100 fee needs to be conditioned. I think
Okay.
that's a reasonable,
Are you going to have a pre-construction meeting?
we can.
Okay, make sure you notify Conservation for the meeting and the
Now, I have
start.
another little problem. Andy probably already has taken care of it for planning and all that. You said you're putting up a stockade fence around the site. Most of the stockade fences that I've seen put up around sites last a short period of time because the wind sooner or later breaks them off. Now, whose responsibility is it to make sure that this stockade barrier is maintained?
Says it's an armored
You know what I'm getting at,
fence.
Andy?
Yeah,
They-
they follow.
Let me double check. I thought it was a stockade fence.
Yeah,
Let me
what is
confirm.
an armored
It's usually
fence?
chain link.
Yeah, with chain link, we have no problem, but stockade is a,
The plan shows 6-foot stockade. 6-foot wood stockade.
No,
Armored fence.
nope.
But Vertical Bridge would be responsible. So the applicant, Vertical Bridge, would be responsible for maintaining it. They don't want anybody getting into their tower, so they will,
Yeah,
we make sure there's some mention in our order, whether it's legal or not, that
Does
they
mention,
have
of-
accepted the responsibility here.
what is an armored fence? Is that a chain link fence? Well, that's what they're showing.
No, he said he was putting up a stockade.
But we're seeing something on the plan. Clarify.
Yeah, it says armored, proposed armored fence.
so
On the plan,
the
outlined in
label,
red, you have AF, armored fence. What is the armored fence? What is the components of it? Is it chain link?
so before I get to that, the plans state a stockade fence, but it shows a chain link fence. So the intent was to be a chain link fence. So I don't know if you want to condition that, just to be clear, but
Yeah, I
the
mean,
plan will be,
Yeah,
it will be a
chain
chain
link.
link fence. So if
Yeah,
the board's.
sure.
The armored fence. I believe it's a detail there.
There you go.
So these red areas are going
Right.
to be armored fence through here, which will consist of, I believe that's a reinforced silt fence. Let me just confirm on the detail.
Would it be wise to consider lifting the chain link fence so that wildlife can pass through in this instance?
It's a
By
small,
6
it's a
inches.
small area, we're under 3,000 square feet. I think
Yeah.
they'd prefer to keep wildlife out because of the wires and things in there. I think it would be safer to, some small mammals may get through the fence, but
Yeah.
the intent is to try to keep things out. We don't want something getting in there and getting harmed.
That's fair.
I think that would be more appropriate for like a solar facility or something where you want wildlife to
Well,
be able to migrate through, but
There-
this
there
is
isn't-
very small.
There isn't much in there for animals to pass through too.
Right, so, and you wouldn't want them getting into some of the equipment shelters.
I think it might be worth it for us to discuss the tree fund a little bit more going forward. too,
Yeah, we should
because I
have
think
a policy.
$100 doesn't cover a tree anymore.
We question
No.
ourselves every time, and I was gonna bring it up at some point. We need to talk about that, so we have a approved
Yeah.
policy.
So we can put that on a future agenda.
Gonna deal with the Marty.
Okay.
Okay, anybody else?
I don't have any further questions. It's been
Bob?
extremely.
Another thought on, when we were talking about the fence, so, did the neighbors complain, did they want a stockade so they can't see it? Is that gonna run into a problem down the road?
There's really no visibility back there. This is behind a business, next to another business, and it's
Oh,
really
okay.
tucked away, yeah.
All right, I just didn't wanna run into a problem down the road that the neighbors said, well, you said I wouldn't be able to see this
I
operation.
think he's the first one that noticed that. That must have been on the plans. I think the engineer just labeled it inconsistently with what he drew.
Notes happen.
Right. They're typically chain link fence, so,
How tall?
6 foot.
Okay.
And it just encloses the equipment area, so in terms of the wildlife, they can go around. It's not like a boundary fence or anything.
The fence was just, it's the little circles, that's the fence compound. So
Yep.
they'll have the ability to migrate through the basins and the swale.
Chain link it is, 6-foot chain link. Anybody else?
No further questions.
Bob?
We closed?
well, do you want to ask for
Any
public comment?
Public comment,
Yeah.
anyone?
Love this.
But I'd like
Okay.
to ask, was there like a public meeting about this? Just curious.
Yes.
Plan.
It went through site plan review with the planning board.
Yeah, it's like neighbors, those new apartments are all aware, da-da-da.
Yeah, they went out.
How'd you know that?
They would be here, they would be here if they weren't.
Yeah.
I administered the plan.
Can we get a motion to close this RDA on 720 Washington Street, Mono Tower? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And
Move we issue a negative, what is it, we're looking at -3 and
Negative 3 and
6?
6 should cover the,
I don't know what the 6 is.
6 is our local
6 is the
bylaw.
local.
yep, and 6-foot chain link fence with notification for start and pre-construction meeting, and tree cutting in the buffer zone. $10 to a max of 100 for the trees.
I think that one is the one that, Nicole said, you want to look at it first, see how many.
No, down the line. We want to
Yeah,
come
down
up
the
with a
line.
clear
We can
plan,
discuss it
because
in
we
this.
seem to question ourselves each time. This is,
Okay, we get a second.
I second.
All in favor? Aye.
All right.
Thank you
You're
very
all
much,
set.
appreciate it.
Please note that any person aggrieved by this decision has a right of appeal within 10 business days. Please contact our office or DEP if you need assistance. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate the time this evening.
Of
And
course.
that's it for our hearings. We
Signature,
we
please.
need a motion to approve meeting minutes. If nobody has any questions,
Here.
I don't have any questions about the minutes.
okay, can I get a motion to accept the meeting minutes?
make a motion to accept the meeting minutes as they are without changes for April 3rd, 2025.
I second.
Thank you.
April
All in
2nd.
favor?
April 2nd.
What?
Says April 3rd.
Yep, you got it
Where am
right.
I? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
All in favor to accept the meeting minutes of, April 3rd, 2025.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that's that.
That was not on the agenda.
Okay.
correctly.
I think,
I don't have any liaison updates
Uh,
from
yeah,
volunteer groups
Bob's not here.
perspective.
I think we can entertain an early exit and adjourn this meeting. Can someone make a motion?
Have we got everything done though?
Or do we have to sign these before we make the motion?
No,
Yeah.
you can sign them after you make the motion and you close.
Okay, somebody make a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn
Second.
this evening.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Okay.
All done.